All right, so let's continue with our volume unit, and this is all about volume of spheres. So we've talked about spheres before, and we did surface area. So the surface area formula that we did was 4 pi r squared. So we are no longer doing surface area, so you want to not look at that formula on your cheat sheet because we are now doing volume. So it's a different formula. It has a fraction in it. It's okay. So the formula is 4/3 pi r to the third power, or pi r cubed. Okay, so this is, a lot of times this gives you fraction answers if you're going to leave it in terms of pi, and that's fine. So the one thing I love about spheres is there's only one thing you need, and that's the radius. And usually they either give you that or the diameter, and so it's a little bit more simple than the other ones, I feel. Okay, so let's find the volume of a sphere. So write your formula so you get all your points. So 4/3 pi r cubed. So then what is our r? They tell us in this problem it's 3. So 4/3 times pi times 3 to the third power. Type that in your calculator. And you end up getting 36 pi if they want it in terms of pi. Or if they wanted it rounded, you would do 36 pi in your calculator and you get 113 point. This is a weird rounding one. It rounds up to 10. Okay, so then, and the label, can't forget that, it would be millimeters cubed. See, look how easy spheres are. Love them. Okay, so now we're going to do a different one. Okay, so we've had some problems like this on our surface area. And this is a cylinder with a half of a sphere scooped out. Okay, so whenever we were doing surface area, we did area of the cylinder plus the area of the half a sphere, but this is different. This is volume. So you're thinking, how much would go inside that container? So this is going to be, you're going to have your cylinder still, so you need to find the volume of that. And then since this time the half sphere is missing, we're not doing surface area, so it's different. So it's missing that piece of the volume, so we are going to have to subtract the half sphere. Okay, let's do it. So let's do the cylinder first. So we've got cylinder, the formula is volume equals area of the base times the height. Base of a cylinder is a circle, so pi r squared. Pi times 3 squared times what is your height of your cylinder? Well, that is 5. Okay, that gives you 45 pi. All right, so now let's do our half of a sphere. Can't forget the half part. So you've got your formula, 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So 4/3 pi r cubed gives you 36 pi. But we've just did one like that, but we can't forget it is a half of a sphere, so we have to cut that in half, so divide it by 2, and that gives you 18 pi. All right, so now we're ready to put it all together. It's your cylinder volume, so 45 pi minus your half sphere volume, which is 18 pi. So if we're gonna do it in terms of pi, that would be 45 minus 18, 27, and then you have pi with it. And so then if I type that in your calculator if they wanted it rounded, 27 pi gives me 84.82, and my label would be inches cubed. Kind of cool, right? All right, let's do another one. So this one is kind of similar but kind of different. So you're finding the volume of this, and so you're going, this time it has a cylinder with a half a sphere added to it. So this one is going to be cylinder plus, because it's added, it's not missing, plus the half sphere. Okay, so let's do the cylinder first. So volume equals area of the base times the height. So the base of a cylinder is a circle, so pi r squared. So pi times 5.8 squared, And so you may get a little bit different answer on this problem depending upon where you round. I'm going to start rounding right now as soon as just at the beginning, because the problem says round your answer to 2 decimal places. So if you wait later to round, it could be a little different. It's okay if you get a little bit different on this type of problem. So this gives me, I'm just going to put the pi and everything in my calculator, gives me 105.68. Okay, so that's just for the circle. Now let's do the height of my cylinder, so times 14. I'm going to type that in, so 105.68 times 14 gives me a pretty big number, 1,479.52. Okay, so that's for our cylinder. Now let's do a half a sphere. So in order to do that, we need to do the whole sphere. 4/3 pi r cubed is the formula. So 4/3 times pi times 5.8 cubed, or to the 3rd power, however you like to think of it. So I'm going to type that whole thing in my calculator with the pi, and I get 817.28. But then don't forget, it's a half a sphere, so we have to cut that in half. So 817.28 divided by 2 gives me 408.64. Okay, so now I am ready. I need to add those. I've done the half sphere, I've done the cylinder, so let's add them together. So you've got the 1,479.52 plus the 408 number. So let me type that in my calculator. And I get 1,888.16. And let's do our label feet cubed. Okay, so that is that problem right there. All right, I'm going to not do the next 2 problems because we've already done some. Well, first of all, the blue one right underneath that is the same one we just did. This one is like that one, and I've already done a problem like that. You're going to do cylinder minus the half sphere. I'm going to go on to the last problem. So we've got the snow cone again. So if you're thinking volume now, so the volume of this would be a cone, and then you have a half a sphere. Is the half a sphere missing, or is it being added to it? It is being added to it, so it's your snow cone. So let's do the cone first. What's the formula for volume of a cone? That's the 1/3 formula. So 1/3 area of your base times your height. The base of a cone is a circle, so pi r squared. Pi times 4.9 squared. And this one wants us, this is still the same direction, so let's still round it to 2 decimal places. So pi times 4.9 squared gives you, sorry, a little slow today, so it would be 75.43 times, we've got to bring down that 1/3. And what is your height of your cone? Do they give us the height? Do they give us the slant height? They give us the height, thankfully. So 12.6. So now I'm going to type all of that in my calculator. 1/3 times 75.43 times 12.6. Okay, and we're going to go 2 decimal places, so it would be 316.81. Yay. Okay, now the half sphere. So we've got the formula for a whole sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So plug in the radius, so that'd be 4/3 times 4.9 to the 3rd power. So I'm typing in my calculator, 4/3 pi times 4.9 to the 3rd power gives you 492.81. And then I need to not forget, I've been pretty good on this video about not forgetting. So I need to remember to cut it in half because this is a half sphere. So divide it by 2. And that gives me 246.41. All right, what am I going to do with those 2 numbers? Well, we already talked about this. I'm going to add them. So 316.81 plus 246.41. So add them, and you end up getting 563.22 centimeters cubed. So fun. All right, that was it for volume of a sphere. Hope you enjoyed watching. Have a great rest of your day.